All right, psych. I thought that my last UDFA video was going to be my final video for the evening, but I realized I never made a proper draft recap video, so I figured we'd go ahead and do that real quick. I'll just give my initial thoughts on all of the picks, and we'll go from there. You'll get plenty more content with all of my other evaluations on this, more thorough evaluations, film studies on every single player that we drafted, and the top undrafted free agents that I feel like are going to make the Denver Broncos roster. You guys know that's all coming, but this video is just to kind of wrap up the draft, put a bow on everything, no pun intended, and just kind of give my thoughts on everything overall. So we'll start off with the obvious here, Bo Nix, and the Denver Broncos being able to finally land their franchise quarterback, hopefully, is certainly the move that everybody wanted them to make in the draft. I know that there were people out there that felt that they should trade down, but at the end of the day, there was no avenue after the Falcons took Michael Penix that they were going to be able to get Bo Nix later on. They weren't going to be able to settle for Spencer Rattler. The gap between Spencer Rattler and Bo Nix is huge. Bo Nix went at 12, Spencer Rattler went at 150. So at the end of the day, man, the Denver Broncos got their guy. They got the guy that they feel like can be the one who breaks the curse. So I am fully supportive of that move, and nobody will care where Bo Nix is drafted if this pick pans out. Jonah Ellis, round 3, pick 76 out of Utah, a really, really productive edge rusher in college, somebody that I really, really like. I put out a bit of a film video of him that I don't think was his best body of work yesterday, so I'm going to actually go through and maybe update that tomorrow and see if I can get some better film on him, because I think he actually had some really, really good reps in pass rush, and I think that if there is somebody in the edge rush room that can step up and truly be that Batman edge rusher, I think that it could be Jonah Ellis. Baron Browning could also do it if he doesn't continue to deal with injuries, but I think that Jonah Ellis, if there's one guy who can finally step up as a Batman amongst Robins in that edge rush room, it is Jonah Ellis. Then we traded up to pick 102 overall in the 4th round to select Troy Franklin, pairing Oregon quarterback with Oregon wide receiver. And I know I'm kind of on the record now as a Troy Franklin hater. It's not that I don't like Troy Franklin as a player, I just have some questions about him, and I felt like there were better players on the board at the time. But I do feel like it's a good thought process pairing your young quarterback with a receiver that he had success with in college. And despite some of the issues that I have with Troy Franklin's game, in particular his separation and his drops, Troy Franklin go fast. So that is one good thing and one really nice element about his game. Then they got Chris Abrams-Drain, the corner in the 5th round, pick 145 overall. I feel like Abrams-Drain was a slam dunk, home run, A-plus pick. He can play outside, he can play inside. It sounds like the Broncos view him more as an inside guy, so I think he's going to be the Broncos' starting dime guy. I really do. Jaquan McMillan is entrenched as the starting nickel. We needed somebody who could start in the dime because the Broncos, they ran a lot of dime packages last year. So Chris Abrams-Drain is going to have a very large role in this defense in year 1. I believe the Broncos envision him as their starting dime. I mocked Chris Abrams-Drain to the Denver Broncos, and the fact that they were able to get him, I was over the moon with that pick, quite frankly. That is going to significantly boost the overall grade of this draft, but not to say that Bo Nix and Jonah Ellis and Troy Franklin aren't going to boost it, but at the end of the day, man, this Chris Abrams drain pick was a massive steal, massive home run. Yes, yes, yes. Then they got Audric Estime, the running back out of Notre Dame. At the end of the day, this is all about them throwing more darts at that running back board, seeing if they can get somebody to step up as an alpha. Javonte Williams, unfortunately, dealing with that injury last year, he did not look like his old self. Hopefully in year 2, coming off of an ACL, he'll look like his old self again. But unfortunately, if that isn't the case, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Broncos maybe did move on from Javonte Williams and planned it with this Audric Estime pick, because I think they're a very similar prototype of player. I also think Samaje Perine could but be an odd man out in this situation because he's due $3.5 million, and the Broncos could save all of it by cutting him. So he might be a cap casualty come the end of training camp. I really like this Estime pick. I think that this could be insurance for Javonte Williams. And I've always said this before. Even when you have your established entrenched guy at running back, you should still be throwing 5th round darts at the board and at the running back position, because you never know, A, when your guy is going to go down with an injury, and B, you need 2, 3, 4 functional running backs in today's NFL. So getting a really, really good running back in Audric Estime, I'm never going to apologize for that. Then they got Devon Vele, the 26-year-old rookie out of Utah. I know that I have some reservations about him being a 26-year-old rookie, but the thought process behind this pick makes total sense. Apparently, he says that the Broncos told them that they see a lot of Tim Patrick in his game. Tim Patrick, of course, another Utah receiver. So I actually think that at the end of the day, Devon Vele could be viewed as sort of a niche player in this offense. A big slot receiver is what they had said. So yeah, they kind of maybe view him as the direct backup to Tim Patrick. Then they got Nick Gargiulo at pick number 256, the second to last pick in the draft. He's somebody who can come in, be a swing interior offensive lineman for him. I don't necessarily know if he's going to be a long-term starter or anything like that, but swing depth on the offensive line is always a good thing. And one massive knock on the Nick Gargiulo grade is that he shaved the mustache and he cut his hair. That was one of the biggest selling points on it, man. Come on, dude. Keep the flow. Keep the stash. That's what we want out of offensive linemen. That's what make offensive linemen stand out, bro. But in all seriousness, I think this is a solid pick, but one that doesn't overwhelm me or underwhelm me. It just kind of whelms me. So overall, I'm going to give this draft a very, very solid B+. I do think that the Troy Franklin pick, it's just there's some questions I have, but if it pans out, it pans out. I'm going to be rooting for nothing but success for Troy Franklin, just like all the other players in this class. And then the Devon Vele pick, I get the thought process, but there were other players I would have rather targeted. Some of those players landed in undrafted free agency with other teams, so I don't know, man. I just feel like that there were a couple of picks in there that I have a couple of reservations about, those two wide receiver picks, but I think that they are still very, very sound in their thought process overall, and I wish these players nothing but success, and I'm going to be rooting for them every step of the way. I cannot wait to cover each and every single one of these players and go back and check every single undrafted free agent video that we made. We've put out 11 now for the 11 that the Broncos have signed. So if you guys want to get more information on the Broncos undrafted free agents, you can go check out those each individual videos. All right, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me throughout all this draft content tonight. It's been an absolute grind. 7-hour stream and then 17 total videos. Well, I guess 18 now after this. So absolute grind today, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me. We hit 3,000 subs today. An absolutely awesome achievement. Only bigger and better things to come here on Broncos Syndicate. All right, guys, be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. And until next time, guys, I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.